Hello everyone. So as I'm going to be getting Vanguard soon, and to celebrate hitting 600 subscribers, I think now is a better time than ever to just wrap up everything with Modern Warfare, and what better way to do that than a tier list. And in this tier list, I'm going to rank every single Modern Warfare weapon. I've done all these cards you see, I had to make them myself because none of the tier lists had both the CX9 and the RAL, which both been recently added, and they just didn't look nice, like it wasn't presented nice. So I made my own tier list, I made all these little cards myself, and I think it looks nice. So here we have all 62 weapons in Modern Warfare multiplayer, and I'm going to be ranking these in terms of how good they are in multiplayer. I did a poll on my Instagram, and slightly more people, I think 8 to 7, voted for multiplayer instead of Warzone. So all these, keep in mind, they're all going to be ranked in terms of how good they are in multiplayer, not Warzone. So we're starting things off. Kilo 141. It's alright. I don't think it's definitely not high tier. I put it in good because the fire rate is just too slow. It's not very slow, but it's too slow to make it very good. And the TTK, it can get a bit, it's not very consistent at times. Then we have the foul. I'm gonna put this in meta. Its foul is so underrated. One, it can headshot. Well, obviously it can headshot, but it can one-shot headshot. And two, if you got a good trigger finger, it's amazing. Like, especially, I got really good trigger finger. Maybe it's better on PC. I'm not sure if people have better trigger fingers. But if you have a good trigger finger, FAL is amazing. You can get such a really consistently quick TTK. And I really, really recommend using it. It's a really fun gun to use. And, like, it's one of the best. Yeah, definitely one of the best ARs. M4, obviously it's meta. It's not, I think it's a bit overrated. When I went to do the M4, obviously I did a bit before, but when I came back to gold it, I was a bit sort of disappointed because everyone just like makes it to be this amazing AR, and it definitely is. It's like so versatile. It's got really good, like good fire rate, just good all around. But I think it's a bit underwhelming. It's definitely not the best AR in the game. I think FAL would probably outclass it. FR556 in core, it's complete. I wouldn't put it in diabolical. It's very weak. It's so inconsistent. You can get 1 bursts, but you can also get like 3 bursts. So it's just not worth using. It's good in hardcore. If you go on hardcore and you switch it, do the toggle thing for the fire rate, you can put it into semi-auto and it one taps, and it's amazing in hardcore. But this is not for hardcore. This is all core, so it's just not consistent enough to be anywhere near good. Odin, I didn't enjoy using it, but having a 2-shot is very good. I'd put it above the Kilo. I really didn't enjoy it. The fire is very unforgiving. But if you can I'm not sure hate your shots is the right word, but it's pretty consistent, I'd say. Like, this 2-shot is very good. It doesn't have a lot of recoil when you don't, like, if you're not stretching out the ranges. The iron sights that I had in the blueprint were very clean, so I think it's good. It's not bad, it's not amazing. I think it's sort of in the middle. M13, this is my baby, but I can't put it meta. I'm going to put it very good. It's very good in Modern Warfare. Amazing fire. I think it's the highest fire rate. Maybe the round's a bit higher. Highest fire rate in all assault rifles. And it doesn't have a great damage output, but it has like 0 recoil. It's just like beams. But it doesn't have the TTK to be top tier. It's not very meta. Scar, probably just above the FR556. It's heavy. It's got slow fire rate, slow movement, slow ADS. It feels like an LMG, and it has like a, what was it, 20 round mag, or is it 30 round mag? I think it's only a 20 round mag to begin with. So it's just horrible. I think it was in my Platinum AR, I think I ranked it as the worst. It's not good. You can use it, and it's pretty satisfying to use. I wish they made it better, because it's a really cool gun, I think, but it's not good. It's just not good. AK, top tier. Not top tier. It's very good. It's got a bit of a slow fire rate, but it just feels the handling stats are way better than the Scar. It's got a consistent TTK, and obviously it's an AK. The AK is always going to be so, well, it's always going to be good. It's probably the most iconic firearm of all time, and you can't rate the AK low. It's amazing. Ram 7. So that's all the guns that came out. So these are all the guns you have to do for to get platinum. Then we're on to DLC ARs. The Ram 7, I'm putting that as meta. The Ram 7's really overlooked. I think not enough people, a lot of people don't like it because most guns, they go up like this, they go up and to the right, but the Ram goes up and to the left, and that sounds really off-putting because like you're just so naturally used to holding down and moving your crosshair to the left. So when people do it, they're really off. It throws them off the wonky recoil. But if you can handle that, like, it's really not that hard to handle. I think console players that struggle with it. But in PC, if you use iron sights, it's not really that noticeable, and the TTK as well as the fire rate, very consistent. I'm not sure, would I put it above the M4? Nah, I'd say they're equal playing. Actually, no, I'm going to put it, in terms of TTK, it's definitely better than the M4. But it's just not as versatile. But I'd still think, I'd take the RAM over the M4. Grow, not meta. I'm going to put a high, put it up, will you? Put a high, very good. One iron, let's just get that out of the way. The iron sights on the Grow, they're just way too good. They're so clean. And like, even if it was a shit gun to use, I just have so much fun using it, because that iron sight is so satisfying to use. And paired it with the 0 recoil and the high fire rate, it's literally boom. It's like laser accurate, it's a beam. But it doesn't have the amazing TTK. It's good, it's a very good TTK, but it's not like high tier TTK, so that's what holds it back a bit. AMAX, I'd put it, it's definitely top tier. I'd put it in between the RAM and the M4. The reason I'm putting it a bit lower is that the slower fire rate makes it a bit less forgiving, so it's not going to be as consistent. But if you can hit your shots, the AMAX is very, very good. It's maybe even better than the RAM. This is going to be, for me, I think the RAM, it's better than the RAM, because I can hit my shots fairly consistently with the AMAX, and the TTKs are great. And like, it's got 45 rounds, you can hold like 45 round doesn't sound like a lot, but with the slow fire rate, it's a decent amount. The recoil's a bit much, it's not like really strong, but it's a bit more than usual, but it's very good. The TTK, it's definitely one of the best ARs. Now the AN94, this is my least used AR. It's got a weird burst thing. I probably should have made a section for, like, I'm not very familiar with, but I'll put it in high weak. Actually, no, I'll put it in good. It's alright. The few times I've used it, it's a bit satisfying to use. I thought it was an AK. It was very similar to the AK in terms of like feel, but that burst, it's alright. It's not very competitive, but it's fun to use. AS Val, oh, a lot of people would have put it top. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it top there, but it's gonna go low purely because of that fucking, the 30 rounds is not enough. It balances it. It should be there because the TTK it's the best TTK in the game, I'm pretty sure, apart from snipers and shotguns. But it just holds it back because you get a kill and you might be able to squeeze out a second kill, but you got to reload. And in fast-paced multiplayer, well, as fast-paced as Modern Warfare is, you can't get reloading so much for it to be. I'm sort of thinking, I don't think it's meta. I wouldn't put a meta. I wouldn't like to use the ASVAL over the M4. If you're looking pure TTK wise, it's meta, but TTK isn't the only thing that matters. I'm gonna put it very good, and it's definitely the higher tier in very good, but it's not one-on-one. Maybe. Nah, I'll put it back to meta, because one-on-one is amazing. You just got to be more. It's more niche. You got to be more aware. Like the higher tier players will use the ASVAL because they know they're good in positioning, and they can position their reloads and time it better. Okay, moving on to SMGs. You got the AUG. I'm gonna put it in good. The AUG. The only thing that I really don't like about it is the iron sights. I can tolerate the slightly slower just movement and handling stats than most of your SMGs, but the iron sights are just really distracting with the AUG. I really didn't enjoy using it. It was my least favorite SMG, but I'm not denying it. It's definitely good. It's not bad at all, but it just personally, iron sights aren't good, and I don't like using an optic on SMG. So if the iron sights aren't good, that's sort of just a guaranteed me not really enjoying it. P90, very good. It's very, very good. It's so fun to just run and gun people with. I wish, well, yeah, I like the big Forge Attack Retribution barrel. I wish that was a bit less slow, because it's a great barrel, but I just you feel so slow that it feels more like an AR. But like if you don't use it with the barrel and you just like use a suppressor or something, and you can max out all the sprint to fire, it feels so quick and snappy, and just it's a really good gun to just run and gun with. Really fun. MP5 top tier meta. It's just like, I would put it here. I'm just gonna rank. I'm gonna keep them all like within their class, so I'm not gonna put that up here. But it's probably, I would say, the best gun in the game all around. Like, and I'm saying all around for an SMG. Like the range isn't even terrible. Like it'll take like 1 or 2 extra shots to kill, but it's just so good. You can build it, and I'm pretty sure it has the best hipfire in the game. Maybe the MP7 might beat it a bit, but it's amazing. MP5 is just so good. Although this doesn't really matter, but when you're going for long shots with it and you put on the high barrel or the high what's it called, optics, the high zoom optics, the recoil goes all over the place. But one-on-one, no one's gonna be using like that. One-on-one, it's amazing. It's definitely meta. Uzi, top tier, not top tier, why do I keep saying that? Very good. Slow fire rate holds it back a bit from being meta, but like the TTK, very consistent, really good. It's so fun. It's like really sweaty to use with the blue dot. With the blue dot Gemini reflex, it's really sweaty to use, but you can make it really snappy. It's loads of the search and destroy sweats to use it, but it's very good. The Uzi I like a lot. Bison, I put it low. Yeah, it was very good. My memory using the Bison isn't great because that was the time the Damascus Ground where I was sort of like coming at my wit's end. But it's you can make it have such a good ADS because you don't have to, well, you can't put a what's it called, a foregrip, and it's not necessary at all to put an extended mags because it got 64 rounds by default. So you can use those slots which normally slow down your ADS, and you can move them to tack laser. You can do to no stock. You can make it such a snappy ADS, but the fire rate isn't great. It should have a much higher fire rate, I think. Not much higher, just a bit higher fire rate, and it would be very good. But it's definitely at the lower end of very good, but it's much better than good. MP7, I'm not going to put it as meta. A lot of people would. I think it kills a bit slower. Maybe. Nah, I'm gonna put it at the very, very top. It's like so close to meta, but I wouldn't say. The TTK is just a tiny bit quicker than the, tiny bit slower than the MP5. But the iron sights are clean, and I'm gonna put it in meta. It's gonna be low meta, but it's very fun to use. Got zero recoil. The fire rate's great. You can make a good mobility. Amazing hip fire. Like when you use this hip fire, I used it a lot in Warzone. You don't have to ADS at all. You can like hip fire up to like 30 meters and still be pretty accurate with the MP7. It's such a fun. It's one of my favorite guns to use. I may even go for no, that's an empty thing. I'm not gonna go for Obsidian. But if I were to go for Obsidian, MP7 would be one of my favorite guns to use. Striker 45, weak. It's got such a piss poor TTK. It's not really unique. I haven't spent a lot of time with it, but that's for a reason. It's not good. Fennec, I'm gonna put it at the top of good for SMGs. I think the TTK is very good, but the iron sights are really distracting for me. They get in the way a lot. The mobility and ADS aren't great, but the fire rate's mad. I wish I had a bit better mobility. It would definitely be very good, but I'm gonna put it at the top of good. It's not very fun. Well, no, it is very fun. What am I saying? It's just not very, what's the word? Not easy, but it's just not very accessible. I don't think it's a gun that I could like just use. It's just not. It's not it. I don't think for most of the time. I don't really like the Fennec. ISO, it's got a similar situation. Good TTK, alright fire rate. I don't know what they were doing with the iron sight stuff. Like it's like all square. It's just ugly. And I haven't got a lot of time in it. My friend loves it a lot. But I put it as good. I don't think maybe very. I haven't got enough time in it. That might be wrong. I might be wrong with 2Ds because I haven't used it a lot in multiplayer. But that's where I'm putting them for now. CX9, I golded this yesterday, and although I really didn't enjoy golding it, it's nothing to do with the gun. It's just the way this multiplayer is. It's very good. I put it. What did I put in meta? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in meta actually. For SMGs, it's really good in Modern Warfare. And hardcore, it's amazing. You literally just hip fire. The hip fire is great. Like these two, hip fire is amazing. Really good fire rate. The mag, when like the no attachment kills, 20 rounds by default is just a joke with this. Like you get one, you can literally only get one kill. You can squeeze like 2 kills if you have the 20 round mag, but not very likely. But apart from that, when you get the 50 round mag, you're all set. And it's really good. It's got decent handling stats. The iron sights are meh. It's definitely on the lower end of meta, but I would say it's meta. The TTK is pretty good. Model 680, I'll put it in very good. The fire rate holds it back a bit, but it's fairly consistent. The damage is not the damage range is probably the best. No, the 725 is probably a bit better. But it's got a consistent damage range. You can use Dragon's Breath on it, which is always fun. Yeah, and all shotguns I think are pretty good. I don't think I'm going to play any shotguns in the lower tiers. And I know, Doof, it's 100% meta. It's like, it's got a double tap, but you can still kill people with one. So like, it's just so powerful. You obviously got Dragon's Breath. Anyone who's played Warzone this time last year in Season 6 is still haunted by the, and I know, it's amazing. It's like, probably, for the first like 5 months, when I got Modern Warfare, I'd always have this. For just getting kills, it's probably just best shotgun all around. And getting just like loads of kills. If you're going for like reticle challenges, and you wear stuff you just need to get kills, and I know is king. 725, I'm gonna put it in meta, which might ruffle a few feathers. But I think it's so good. One-on-one, it's just like, it's one-on-one, it's even better than the R90. But I'd put it lower because when you're not one-on-one, it's not great at all because those 2 rounds. But it nearly always 2-taps people, even with like the short stock, which like makes your damage range much worse because it widens the hipfire spread. And it's so fun to use. I remember using this. I have such good memories using this and shipping 24/7. And I just had the shorty build, sawed-off barrel, sawed-off stock, and I just running around the map. You feel like you're flying and you just dink people for fun. And you can make the reload alright. Like if you position well, it's very, very good. But it's just not as good as the R90, I wouldn't say. Oh, pardon me. Let me take a bit of Pepsi Max. Oh, that's so good. Oh, I love Pepsi Max. Anyway, Argent 12. I'll put this in good. It's the lower tiers of probably the worst shotgun. I don't like semi-auto shotguns in general. They're not very rewarding at all to use. They just feel spammy. They don't feel like... It's good, but I don't like it. I don't really like using semi-auto guns. VLK Rogue, I'm putting that above the Model 680. It's the Model 680, but better. The only thing it's worse at is that damage range, but even still, the damage range isn't too bad. The mobility is amazing. The fire rate's way better for a pump action than the Model 680. It's very good. I really like the VLK Rogue. Jack 12. Now, this is literally the one gun in the game, apart from the Riot, which I haven't touched yet, but the Jack 12 is the one gun in the game I just refuse to use. I'm not trying to be all moral and stuff, but like, I don't think I could live myself if I use this gun, but there's no denying it's meta. Would I put it, I don't know, yeah, maybe. Nah, just have a bit of self-respect. I'm not going to put an R90. Even the R90 I think is more higher honor than using the Jack 12. It's such a scumbag gun. Ugh, it's full auto, but yeah, it's amazing. There's no denying it's amazing. Moving on to the LMGs. PKM. Well, it's a sort of a similar situation as the shotguns. LMG is never going to be meta compared to an AR. It's just not. LMGs are the worst class. Whereas like proper bullet guns out by a mile in this game, they're balanced so poorly. So when I need to think here, I'll put this is the only one that's going to go on meta, because PKM you can put with the snatch grip attachment. That's probably the best attachment in the game, because you can just make your ADS much better than any other LMG, and it's not nearly as good as the ARs, but you can still make it pretty good. And once your ADS with the PKM, it's amazing. So it would go meta. S87, I'm gonna put in good. It's got a good TTK. This is what I'm gonna say. A lot of the LMGs just held back by being LMG. Slow ADS, slow movement, slow sprint to fire. The one thing that SA87 benefits from it is that it doesn't have the open bolt delay. So like when you shoot it, it's actually going to shoot like a proper gun, and it's not going to have that tiny delay that most of the LMGs have, which they added for like realism purposes. So the SA87 is a bit better than most. Maybe no, I'll put it in very good. Yeah, I'll put it in very good, because you can make the ADS decent. And once you get it, it's a pretty fun gun to use. M91. I wouldn't put it in weak. It's decent. When you get the no stock attachment, is so good for this gun. But again, LMG too slow. MG34. See, this is tough. It's annoying to do LMGs. I'm gonna put it in very good. The MG, and it's really fun. It's slow. It's really slow, and the reload. I can't overlook how bad that reload time is. I think it's even worse than the PKMs, like 9 seconds. it's so slow. But the fire rate is amazing. Like, you can just beam people with this gun. But 50 rounds, yeah, no. 50 has also got 50 rounds by default, which is stupid for an LMG, especially one that has such a high fire rate. I'm gonna put the LMG 34 on good. Holger 34, I haven't used a lot, but I know you can put the 30 round mags on it to make it more like an AR. So I'll put it in good. That's not very, I haven't used it a lot, so I might be wrong with that. Bruin, yeah, good again. Nah, it's got to be good. Put it in high, very good. It's good, like the TTK is great, but again, slow by LMG, but you actually can use the 60 round mags, which none of the other LMGs offer, apart from the Holger, which has the 30 rounds, but the 60 round mag make it more like an AR. Bruin's such a fun gun to use, but this, like, I know it's got slow ADS, but it's fun. I'll put it in very good. Finn, it's such a cheesy gun with like the chainsaw grip. You can run like a juggernaut, but I haven't used it a lot. For shipment, it could be amazing with that. I'm not going to put it in very good because I just haven't used it that much. I'll put it in good. Well, I literally haven't touched this at all, but what from people say in the gameplay, it doesn't look good. I'm putting it in weak. It's got slow fire rate, the recoil is so obnoxious, the iron sights aren't good, obviously it's slow. I think it's the slowest LMG. It just looks so bulky, not really good, and I can't be arsed unlocking it. It's got a really annoying unlock challenge. Marksman rifles, EBR, good. In hardcore it's amazing, and you can use a tactical suppressor with it because the range is so good. But in hardcore you can just tap, but one shot people. But we're not doing hardcore. And for core, not being able, you can one shot with a headshot, but that's pretty hard to do. So for the most time, it's good. I wish it was a bit more spammy. The fire isn't great with the EBR, but what can you say? Mark II meta. It's so overlooked. I think it's like everyone goes to the car for quick scoping, but like it's got it's less forgiving one shot wise, because I think the stomach, if you hit the stomach, it's not going to be a one shot, but if you hit the head or the upper torso, it's a one shot, and it's got such a snappy ADS. It's got really good fire rate. It's like one of the guns, I mentioned this in the video of the snipers, it's one of the guns that I never like thought of before I went for Damascus, but when I went for Damascus and I used it, I really fell in love with it, and it's a gun I use a lot now in my spare time. I really like the Mark II. Kar 98 meta, it's amazing. The quick scope capability is great. It's slightly more forgiving than the Mark II. The reload isn't as great if you're using the sniper scope. It's a bit slow because you have to do 1x1x1. But the Kar 98, it's just king. It's king in Warzone, it's king in multiplayer. Kar 98, you gotta respect it. Crossbow, I'm debating putting diabolical, never use. It's yeah, unless you like never use, it's bad. It's bad. Like the bullet velocity, or bullet, it's an arrow, it's not great. It's fun, like you do cheesy stuff with like dynamite and stink pellets or stuff like that, gas grenades, but if you're actually trying to be competitive, this gun is ass. It's not good. I haven't used it a lot. SKS, I haven't used it a lot, but it's like a better version than the EBR. I'm gonna put it in very good. The recoil is a bit wonky. It can be a bit all over the place, but you can spam a lot with it, and it can be really fun to use. And I think I should use it more, because like it's a really forgettable gun. Everyone forgets about the SKS, but like when you use it, it's fun. SPR, another gun I haven't used, but I haven't leveled it up. It's the one gun that I'm just like, I need to level up. But it's very, would I put it in meta? Yeah, I'm gonna put it in meta, because you can put that short barrel on it and make it have such good ADS. Yeah, meta. I think it's slightly worse than the Kar 9. No, it's much worse than the Kar 98. But still meta. One of the best for quick scoping. Dragunov, weak. Nah, I'll put it on good. The default scope is not good with it. It's got the thing where it has all the black surrounding it, and the semi-auto, it's got weird recoil. Like the recoil with the normal bot actions is bad, but like since you're not holding down, like no one really stays ADS, you don't notice it because you just go back to normal view. But when you're like staying ADS and you're tapping people at the Dragunov, it's not a bad gun. I thought it was better than I thought it was, but it's not very good. HDR, so weak. I'm gonna put it in weak. The ADS is way too slow. It's like like one shot wise, like once you're ADS, it's like it would be the best sniper because it's just so consistent. Like the amount of times I got hit markers with this thing, I could count on one hand. It's like happened little to no times. But the ADS is so slow. Even, and like I said with the Dragunov, it's got that thing where the default scope where it's all blacked out at the sides. So you pretty much have to use an optic, which I don't really like using with snipers. Yeah, it's too slow. I love it in I don't love it in Warzones because it's still slow then. But it's more fun and usable in Warzone. But multiplayer is too quick pace for that. It's not good. One, it's just too slow. AX50. I'm gonna put it in very good. It's not as quick as these Riot Marksman rifles, but you can have one unlike the Dragunov and HDR, you can actually shorten the barrel and do much bigger things to make your ADS much better. And it's got a decent default reticle. It doesn't have the black outline or black or like surrounding thing that the Dragunov and HDR have. So it definitely is. It's one of the definitely is the best sniper rifle. But it's not in the same tier as these. It's not as quick at all. Rytech, weak. Maybe. Nah, it's not quite that bad. To be diabolical, never use. It doesn't have that black thing, like the HDR and the Dragunov have when you aim down sights with the default scope. But the ADS is dreadful. I'm pretty sure it's the worst ADS in the game, and yeah, it's slow. But it does feel powerful. It's actually sort of satisfying to use. Like when I use it in the gunfights, in the 2v2 gunfight stuff, it's alright to use. I don't mind it, but it's slow. Like HDR, it's just too slow. Riot Shield, I don't want to talk about that, or else I'm going to get my PTSD from using that. That's going to be coming back. So let's just put it in diabolical, never use, and not talk about it. X16. Now, of course, all of these, I'm talking about in core and hardcore. Pistols are so fun to use in hardcore. People underestimate it. Like, if I were to, like, people would come to me and say, what class should I platinum? I'd say pistols. It was probably the most fun class to use because it's just like so fun. You can just run around. The mobility is great. ADS is great, and you can still one-tap people in hardcore. It was really fun to use. I sort of wish I did the pistols it was one of my last classes because I thought it would have been bad. That's why I did it early to try and get the bad ones out of the way. But they were really fun. But in core, you got to keep in mind, and this is on its own. I'm not going to do a Kimbo from most of them because most of them. Actually, no, I will. I'll keep in mind the Kimbo. Okay, X16. I'll put it in good. You can have a decent fire rate with it. It's a good all-round handgun, but again, it's a handgun. It's not going to be anywhere more than good. 1911 weak. Put it there, will you? The recoil is really distracting. It goes like straight up. It like kicks straight up and just distracts your view. The fire rate's slow. The mag capacity is bad. It's not quite as bad to diabolical never use. And it's because it's a 1911, you got to put some respect on its name, but it's not good. It's not fun to use. 357. If we're talking snake shots, it's not meta, but it's very good. And yeah, I got to put that in very good. You can use snake shots, even if you're not using snake shots. The iron sights are amazing. The trigger delay is a bit annoying. I wish they'd give us like an option, like, you know, where you can toggle semi-auto and full auto. I wish you could toggle single action and double action, where you could like pull the hammer back, which would get rid of that delay, which would be a bit slower, but like you'd feel more accurate with it, because when you without the pull delay, it would be so accurate, because it's like it's the only gun handgun with as well as the Deagle where you can one tap headshot in core. So like I think it'd be way more usable if you could use it in single action and it didn't have that delay. But I'm putting it in very good because those Kimbo snake shots are they can still, well, it's not a one tap because you're doing two of them, but it's technically a one tap because you're doing it at the same time. It's very good, Kimbo. M19, I'm not going to put it meta because no pistol is meta, but it's even better, I think. The M19 is such a fun gun to use. You can, with lightweight trigger, you can spam. It's like the FAL, you can spam so much with it, and you can use a Kimbo as well, spam really well with it. It's such, like, this is the gun. It wouldn't be the one gun, but it'd be like the gun that I'd like to have on as my secondary. It's like I'm really confident with it. Probably it's the most confident, apart from the Psycho, which is I'll get to later. But it's probably the most confident I am with a single handgun. It's really fun to use. My most The most fun handgun to gold. Really like the M19. More people should use it, and I wish it was. Obviously, it's gone now. Verdansk's going to be ending soon, but I wish it was the default one you landed in with. Because it's I feel confident in Warzone. Like when I drop in with an M19, like I feel much more confident that I can take down like a fully plated enemy who has like a primary with any of the other guns. It's very, very good. 50 GS or a Deagle. I'm gonna put it in good. Yeah, I'm gonna be in good. Without the iron sights are horrible with this gun. I don't care what people say. I really don't like the iron sights. I had to use a optic with it, but what it's so satisfying to use in hardcore, just dinking, boom, 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 one body shots. And I know you can do it with other guns, but it's just way more satisfying with the Deagle. The range is better as well, so it's always going to be a one-shot in hardcore. But in normal core, it's too hard to get a headshot with that the horrible iron sights. And it's sort of like the 1911 with the recoil, where it kicks like straight up. So it can sort of get in your face like a real bulky shot. And the fire rate isn't good enough like to take down an enemy in 2 shots. If you don't hit your first shot as a headshot, you're gonna get outgunned with a Deagle. So I wouldn't put it in very good. Renetti, I'm gonna put it in very good. Would it be? Nah. Like in terms of the bursting is great. Like you can just, and even with the lightweight trigger, you can spam burst. Well, I really like using Renetti. With the monolithic sprites, you can actually like go to a decent range. I think you can two burst people at like pretty good ranges in Modern Warfare. So yeah, Renetti's good. It's sort of an overlook gun. Psychov, it's meta. It's the only pistol that's meta. It was like, I remember when they introduced it was just so ridiculous. Having a full automatic gun is bad enough, but with 80 round, with a fat ass 80 round drum, it's like, I don't see a reason to be using overkill with an SMG, because the Psychov is pretty much as good as any SMG. It's not good akimbo. Akimbo's really bad. They've nerfed it to oblivion, but on its own, it's really reliable. It's definitely the best secondary to have on you. For a one-on-one gunfight, I'd be really confident landing in with like a fully auto Psychov. It's very good. What do we have? Okay, we're moving on to the launchers. So all the bullet weapons are done. Pila. Okay, now this is in terms of launches as like their function as shooting down kill streaks, not as killing people. Pila is meta. Pila is definitely the best launcher. It's got lock on, but unlike the Joker where it takes ages to go hit the lock on, it's a direct lock on. So 100%, there's no doubt about it. Pila is the best launcher. Strela, I put it in very good. Once you get it's got an unusual, like, not unusual, but with the RPG, it's really slow. And the Strela, it's got like a really good, like, not bullet velocity, because it's not a bullet, but like a rocket velocity. Like, it's really quick, which a lot of people aren't used to. But once you get that, like, the arc of it down, like, I was hitting UAVs so much, even though it's a non-lock-on, it gets really easy to use to hit UAVs, and it's so satisfying. So I think the Strela is an underrated launcher. Joker, I'm not going to put it in. Well, no, I'll put it on me, because like lock-on is very good to have, but it's so slow. Like, you'd be shooting a kill streak and it go up. I think it takes like 10 seconds to come down, and by then, like, other people are doing launches as well with the other better ones, they'd have already shot it down. So it's really annoying. But lock-on, you can't deny how good lock-on is, not having to worry about like missing. You're never going to miss a shot with your Joker. But yeah, it's too slow, and it's a real clunky launcher as well. It's probably the slowest, like ADS. And RPG, I would like put it in diabolical, but I also got to take into consideration that this is the best one for like PvP as well. So I'm going to put it in good. In terms of launcher, it's the worst. It's so bad. Iron sight's horrible, velocity horrible, and it's not lock on. So it's really annoying as launcher, but there's no denying it's the best as like to shoot kill players, and it's really fun to use. I love using it in Warzone. Knife, now, as like, I can't put a knife as meta, but no, I gotta take it with a bit of salt. It's weak. The knife, it can one tap. It's great. Mobility is great, but like, if people see you, you're dead. Like, if people see you like within like past 5 meters, you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the case with all melee weapons. I put the Kodachis the same. They're a similar story, and the Kodachis are a bit slow as well. So yeah, like, that's the case with all melee weapons. You know, melee weapons. Kali sticks, I'm gonna put it in I won't put it in very good because it's melee at the end of the day, but it's 100% the best melee weapon. Like, you can just, like, it's so fun to use. You can just, like, I wouldn't say fire rate, but like the rate at which you can hit people is so quick, and the lunge and the lock on it has is so obnoxious, but it's really fun to use in shipment. So there you have it. That is all of the Modern Warfare weapons ranked. I think I'm fairly happy with that. Let me scroll out a bit. There we are. If you want to take a look at it, I think it's good. Yeah, there's nothing I'd change about that. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you so much for 600 subscribers. The channel's been doing really well, and it's like, when I say the channel's been doing really well, in like the previous video, it'd be like it's been doing well recently, but like I have to say, within like the past 3 months, it's been like really consistently doing well. Like, it's never sort of slowed down like it has before when it was doing well. So I'm just really happy to see that. I love seeing all the comments, like especially on the Vanguard videos, the Damascus videos, seeing people that I don't know, people I've never seen comment before on the channel. I love seeing those saying, oh, this is a good take. People are saying, oh, you saw me on the game, and on the guides as well. It's so nice hearing people say, oh my god, you helped me so much, because I know how hard that Damascus was, and to help people in any way means a lot, and it makes the whole thing worth it. So expect more. We got probably my next upload. I might make a video if I have time on my before Vanguard. I might make a video about is Damascus worth it. I'll see, but if not, I'm gonna get Vanguard. Now is the 13th. Black Friday is the 26th, so I'm gonna buy it then. So yeah, I might have time to make the is Damascus worth the video. But yeah, expect much more COD with the channel. I'm so excited to get Vanguard and make a review. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. In the comments below, say if you agree with this, if you disagree with some of it. I'm sure loads of people would have said some stuff that were meta that I don't think were meta, and saying that some stuff weren't meta that I think were meta. So I'd really be interested to see what people think in the comments below. Maybe I should have put more in Diabolical Never Use, but I think like it's gotta be certainly bad to put in. If I put too much in Diabolical Never Use, it would make it less valuable, and people wouldn't appreciate just how bad it was. But yeah, I'm rambling now. Thank you so much for watching. Expect more videos coming soon. Leave a like if you liked, dislike if you didn't. Yeah, that's it. Take care of yourselves.